I'm here as governor for two reasons. And let me mention the first reason. The first is to thank the voters and the people of North Carolina. We presented them a proposal and allowed them to have the choice on whether or not the people of North Carolina wanted to invest in the next generation. And the people yesterday and during the past 2 weeks during early voting resoundingly said absolutely yes. And I just want to thank the people for more than anyone, from the east to the west, tip of the mountains to the beaches, to the big cities and small towns, for taking this issue very seriously, listening to the facts, understanding the pros and cons, and then saying yes. And because that gives me so much confidence about North Carolina's future, that the current generation of today who is qualified to vote is wanting to help the next generation of people that have yet even got into school yet. It just shows that North Carolina can come together for the next generation, because we won't see the immediate benefit of many of these projects, some quicker than others, but the real benefit will be seen 10, 20, 30 years from now, and that is our responsibility. Now let me tell you the second reason I'm here today. We got halfway there in saying we got the bonds passed. Now the second issue is we got to make sure it's executed properly. We've got to make sure that we manage the implementation of how we spend this money in the way that we promised the voters of North Carolina. And as I look at these wonderful people, first of all, let's say applause for the students from North Carolina Central University here. We've got to make sure that the new business facility and education facility they're going to be building just fits the campus, and we build a building that's going to have sustainability for 100 years. And that we don't make the mistakes of some of the buildings we built in the 1960s on our university's campuses that frankly had a lifespan of 20, 30, 40 years. So I want to make sure that the university leaders who now either renovate some existing buildings or build new buildings do it in thinking, will this building have value for the next 100 years, not for the next 20 years? I'm also proud to see that we have some medical students from UNC Chapel Hill. Let's give them a round of applause. I mean, these are some of the brightest of the bright. And these medical students, just like the North Carolina Central students, deserve better. But what I don't want to have happen at UNC Chapel Hill when they build a new medical school is we build a new medical school that only has a sustainability for the next 10 years or 20 years. I want to think 100 years down the road when we build this school. Wake Tech is so crucial for this area. And in the design of the buildings that they're going to be building and renovating, we've got to make sure they are built in such a way that has the flexibility to meet the technology needs of not just today, but what the technology needs might be 50 years from now. And make sure it fits the campus needs from an operational standpoint. The same things that I'm going to be asking questions of, and my budget director will be asking of all the boards that will be making these decisions. Make sure we spend this money right. It's not just getting the bonds passed, it's the execution. And I say the same thing to my National Guard. As we stated throughout this process of educating the voter about these bonds, we have, I think, over 90 armories throughout North Carolina. They're primarily built in the 50s, 60s. And we've got to make sure that we're building these facilities where we understand the new dynamics. The number one private sector industry is still ag, and I'm proud of that. And we still need to feed the rest of the world right out of North Carolina. And what we're doing is building a new building to prepare and research ways that we can feed the rest of the world, and also encourage more of the brightest of the bright, like we have behind me, to get engaged in agriculture. As governor, my job and all the other departments' job in state governments to make sure we do this right, because some important decisions are going to be made during the next year or two. The last thing I want to end by saying the state parks. This state park system is extremely crucial to the quality of life, our travel and tourism, and more than anything else to the next generation. And to hear that the money being spent at this incredible, beautiful park, one of the most heavily attended parks in our state park system, is going to be used for updating camping grounds, makes my heart proud. Doesn't the next generation deserve to have that experience at our park facilities and enjoy the outdoors and enjoy our environment, enjoy the beauty of North Carolina? So that's why I'm here today, to say thank you. And now let's make it work. Let's execute the implementation of this plan in the right long-term sustainable way. Thank you, and God bless each one of you. Thank you very much.